Latest. Thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you all. West Africa is undergoing a massive geopolitical shift. For years, the region was deeply divided. On one side stood the traditional regional bloc, ECOWAS. On the other side was the alliance of Sahel states, Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, three nations that broke away to charter their own independent path. Many global experts predicted a long, bitter conflict between these two sides, but the entire script was just rewritten. Benin has just initiated a major diplomatic pivot towards the Sahel instead of following traditional Western channels. Top officials have moved directly to engage the leaders in Bamako, Niamey, and Ouagadougou. In just a few days, this economic diplomacy did what years of heavy-handed international pressure failed to achieve. It opened the door for a historic regional reset. This is not standard political theater. This is the rise of a new strategy in African affairs, where economic survival and mutual respect replace foreign influence and old political arguments. To understand why this reset is working, we have to look past the political speeches and look at the hard data. For the last few years, regional relations were frozen. The political friction between coastal nations and the military leaders of the Sahel led to deep distrust. Accusations flew, borders were shut, and trade stopped. But practical leaders view foreign policy through the lens of economics, not political purity. They understand a basic rule of geography. Landlocked nations and coastal nations need each other to survive.
Thank you, Kisses. Thank you just when you see it. When you follow us directly, live on our airwaves of LA radio television in Niger. From the international airport, Dioriamani of Niamey, their EC are the protocol greetings that continue. The President of the Republic of Benin, Romuald Wadagni, is greeting Nigerian personalities. International meeting, President Romeo Vadani, who praised the Prime Minister, the Minister of Defense, the Minister of the Interior, the Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces, Chief of Staff Major members of the CNSP, those of the government, the Permanent Secretary of the CNSP, the High Commanders, the President of the Court of Auditors, the Chief of Staff of the President of the Republic, the Minister Director of Cabinet of the President of the Republic, to talk about the government, the Minister of Justice, the Minister of Economy and Finance. He is greeting, currently the Minister of LA Refoundation and Values, and the promotion of social values, the Minister of Agriculture and Livestock, the Minister of Higher Education and Innovation and Technology, the Minister of Education, National Education, of the Promotion of Languages, the Minister of Energy. He will also greet the other members of the government, with the Minister here of the Public Service, but also the Minister of National Solidarity, the Minister of Urban Planning and Housing, the Minister of Commerce, who will also be greeted in turn by the new President of Benin, but also the Secretary General of the government, the Deputy Chief of Staff of the President of the Republic, Head of State the Grand, and it will not be followed. Also, the Secretary General of the Presidency of the Republic, and the Prime Minister's Chief of Staff, as well as the of a Deputy Prime Minister's Office. So it will continue to greet the diplomatic corps, the representatives of the different chancellery of the different country in our accredited to Niger. So we will continue to follow the atmosphere at the level of the international airport, Geopolitical, where the President of the Republic, Army General Abdurrahman Tiani, Head of State, it is a personnel moved at the airport to welcome your host, who is on a state visit to our country base never used. UNBC is friendship la para gocha tuef lo quan derwat. I'm gonna dance. I'm gonna dance. You know, I've been there. Today, we are at the Jori Hamani International Airport in Niamey, where it's a big day welcome that is reserved for our host. So the president of Benin, Kofi Mbaki, and Romuald Wadagni. So who is in our country delegation? Highly welcomed by the head of state, Army General Abdul Rahman Chiang, after greetings. So protocol with the different members of the government. Those of the CNSP, the different cabinets of the President of the Republic, head of state and Prime Minister's office. So the chancelleries are greeted. Representatives also of the different institutions are present. So there are also the commanders who are also present, the different general directors, which are also present. So we'll follow the cultural animations of LA. Niger is a host land of hospitality. So legendary hospitality, reserved and demonstrated today to our guests, so here present at Niamey International Airport, who landed. You also have the representatives of the Advisory Council of the Foundation, the different advisors of the President of the Republic, Head of State Army General Abdul Rahman, Tiani, cultural animation. So that will follow, and that will also be followed by this relationship. Warm and greeting that will follow with the Beninese community, who came to welcome its new president. So the news is the new president, which is warmly welcomed in our country. We are still at the international airport. Juri Amani from the same where national television has won an important team under the leadership of the executive director of LARTN, Abdoulaye Coulibaly, to make you relive this moment, an important historical ceremonial. So with his greetings of the different advisors of the President of the Republic and general directors of the institutions of the Republic. So the reception that continues, a big day reception. So we'll follow and listen. The cultural animations of Imran Mega, who came with the different troops that represent the cultural riches, the musical riches of our country, to therefore expose its animations. Nigerian to our high coming of the country. Neighbor, namely the Benin, which has centuries-old relations with Niger. Homeland, so land of humanity that has never deviated from the rule. The head of state here who rather welcomes the delegation. Beninese came with the new president. This delegation is composed of members of the government, of the military authorities, and that of the cabinet of the new Beninese president. Romuald Wadagni are greeted by the President of the Republic, Head of State, the Army General, Abdurrahman Tiani, and by the Prime Minister. Ali Mohammed, the Minisan, who is also with the Beninese President, the Prime Minister, who also greets here, the President, the different delegations. So we will follow the atmosphere live from the Republic of Niger, with Imran Mega and SS troops. She made them a look. When you saw an accent, but it's samey. Imran Mega, who is exposing Imran Mega, which is exhibiting the cultural riches of Niger, explaining the different troops, the different the songs that will be presented. So to the other Imran Mega, who has SES troops who mobilized them very early this morning to serve the troop that to serve. So the others who are there to follow the different loops, that we will die. Please move forward. That can you see, please? When it rains, please, 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 please. A soap at the dance. Yeah. We came to the Great Calvary. Group Tada PA is also played in Niger, Mali. And also with Venom is what? The cultural similarities are strong. We also have your community, so Polynesian with the office. Who came to give the honors. Also there is the LA case try for tea, and it's with the nomad tide culture. Well, you are welcome to your home in Niger. And with Madame Natalie. Vinette Weber. Thank you, the group of the Muslim community is here, yes. So we want you to give us at least 30 minutes pour que the community can meet you and drink the fresh milk of the country. This morning. Thank you, the calendar of His Excellence is a very expensive. The examination will be done later. And well, here it is. The great community, the gathering of nationals. Come me to Niger, you wish us LA. Okay. International meeting where the reception continues for the two presidents. So you followed him with us, President Romuald Wadagni, who was welcomed by his Nigerian counterpart in Niger land. Since his arrival, the gendarme Abderrahmane Chiani gave him a welcome from the Big Day's home, who went through the troop review, the national anthems that were the colors, therefore national that have been sung, the flag, who was honored, but also protocol greetings with the various members of the government, those of the CNSP, the diplomatic corps, the different less to the commander, the different representatives of the institutions of the Republic, the advisors of the President of the Republic, those of the Prime Minister, but also the different cabinets of the President of the Republic, Head of State and Prime Minister. So a big day welcome, punctuated by cultural animations. At the level of the International Republic of Riyadh, in Mani, where you have a direct, CES images, the two personalities. So we'll meet. So they will have a one-on-one at the official level. So of the Salon of Honor. We will always stay at the airport, where we have our correspondents, Abdul Karim Mombermu, who had us commented. So this trip of the Beninese president, live from the airport, and also kisses to Boubacar in Hausa and Kateria in German, who have continued to animate with us from here. The set of the control room B, with all our teams that we have moved, we will destroy Kateria when we win a Euro. But there is no work where it is necessary to have. It is necessary to be. Irmakani. Teen Bototsa. Kumo. This honko. Oh, jinger jini. When I lose, I lose. I'm going to lose this time. The woman is a liar. The woman is a liar. As Gamili Irmtani Salamun alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Anan hilin jirgi na Jore Hamani inda muka zo tarban shugaban kasar Benin saboda aka nada wanda yanzu ya zo ya samu tarbo daga shugaban kasar Niger. Al'umma Benin da ke nan Niger sun fito sun yi mishi tarbo.
You hear alhamdulillah because OR follow.
Alhamdulillah. Saboda komi.
Niger and Burkina Faso need a reliable gateway to the ocean. Benin's port of Cotonou is the absolute fastest and cheapest route to global markets. Before the border closures, 80% of Niger transit cargo flowed directly through Benin. For Benin, cutting off the Sahel meant losing millions in trade revenue. For the Sahel, losing Benin meant massive inflation and supply bottlenecks. When you look at the numbers, economic pragmatism matters more than political pride. This breakthrough also reveals a permanent shift in how African nations handle global superpowers. The old template where outside forces dictate terms to African capitals is officially dead. Look closely at the recent behavior of the Alliance of Sahel states. When Niger dealt with major global partners like China or United States, they did not simply accept unfair agreements. They forced everyone back to the negotiation table. Their message to the world is simple. We will trade and cooperate with anyone, but only if you respect our sovereignty. The second that respect disappears, the deal is over. Even the international media has been forced to change its tone. They are dropping the hostile labels and recognizing these administrations as permanent regional actors. The Sahel is proving that being independent does not mean being isolated. This is a massive turn of events, and the unity we are preaching every day is what we are seeing happening in Niger. Because under the former leadership of Patrice Talon, we saw how bad the relationship between these nations and Benin was. Because at that time, our all in alls, every day or always accused Patrice Talon of allowing Benin to be used against them. We saw the friction here and there, the border closures and all the things that happened. But finally, we are seeing a new beginning in Africa. This is a joyful day that we are coming together to determine our own terms, not allowing what the outside world wants the African to do. With all the attacks that happened after 48 hours of inauguration, still didn't allow the leader in Benin, the new president, to stay away from the Sahel states. This is amazing. What a beautiful day in Africa. If Africa will become a better place, it is you and I that can make it a better place. And that is why our unity matters. And that is the reason to which they are also fighting to make sure the African never unite. The time is now for all of us in Africa to unite because our unity is our strength. We can only defeat anything in unity. We are the only ones that can set ourselves free. United we stand, divided we fall. And united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's decolonize ourselves from mental slavery. Let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we make Africa great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come. So that's the latest around the world in Africa, West Africa, and in Niger.